Hi kids, welcome to your 4-card forecast for the week ahead. How you doing? Are we all okay? Some intense astrology over the next sort of week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It doesn't have to be doom and gloom. I'm just going to put that out there. It doesn't have to be doom and gloom. Intense is not the same as shit. Not all the time. So, let's pull some fucking cards. Hup. Hup. Oh. Oops. Today, tomorrow, a little bit of Monday. It's the Nine of Swords. We're all thinking ourselves into a bit of a state, thinking ourselves into oblivion. Just a touch. Okay. I mean, to be honest, I think this is more reflective of how shit everyone's sleep has been, mine included, than actual stress. And also, you know, swords is usually thoughts, so it's not really like it's the repetitive thinking that comes with stress rather than things that cause you stress specifically, or things that will physically be an irritation. You know, it's more like, can't sleep it off, nightmares, poor communication, you know, all of these things that come with what's happening in the skies, but also that snowball effect when you've not slept. So try again to, even if you feel like stealing a nap in the middle of the day, do it, because it's going to help you in the long run. Even if you think naps are for old people, maybe you are an old person and you've not noticed, but sleepy sleep time, very good for you. Speak to your local herbalist if it's an ongoing problem, or if your nightmares are absolutely batshit, just to ease you through it, because it's all downhill from here this week. Dream wise and sleep wise. So Monday, Tuesday, a little bit of Wednesday. This is nice, the moon. Okay, fine. The moon. Well, we'll take the planetary influence out of it for a second, because I know not all of you are into your astrology stuff. And then we'll bring it right back in for everyone else. To take it out for those people that don't care, the moon really feels like mega eclipse. I did it straight away. I went into astrology straight away. It feels like suddenly having the truth outed when you've been quite comfortable with the lie. So shadow work is super on trend. It's everywhere at the moment, and the idea of it, and lots of people have different ideas about it. But in this particular case, if we were to equate this card to actual shadow work, it would be more about suddenly noticing your triggers in a way that you haven't before. It doesn't mean, oh, triggered, I'm so triggered, I need to get out. It can just be, didn't realise how annoying that was. Didn't realise how I responded to that every single time. It may even be that other people are pointing it out to you, but be aware as well that they are all triggered to balls too. So if they're noticing things, it might just be them. So that's where you have to rake through and go, is this something that I always respond to? Is this something that has been getting to me for many years and I've just noticed? Is it something that where I always cry when I'm called a certain word, even though people mean it in a really positive way, you know? So digging, lots of digging. The two together means it's really not very fun. As I say, intense. For my astro peeps, we're looking at extremely big planets, right? So the moon comes in going, hey, it's eclipse season and things are going to be revealed. Deal with it. Things are going to be have a light shone on them that maybe we don't really like or we don't enjoy. I will say I'm not picking up on the idea that we're all being horribly lied to, no more than normal, looking at you, government. But, you know, it's... I made myself laugh. It's more about yourself. If you're lying to anyone, it's yourself. And it's not deliberate. This doesn't feel deliberate. This is my thoughts have tied me in knots for many years about this, or I'm so tied up in my own existence that I haven't even noticed this stuff happening. And now the moon is here to say, oi, look at this. One other thing, today specifically, doggo, doggo, right? That's actually doggo, wolfie. It's supposed to be the idea that all dogs howl at the moon, right? So no matter whether you're domesticated or you're a big, wild, sexy beast, you're going to behave the same way. Instinct is instinct. Nature is nature. There's going to be some stuff where, and I think as well for the astro people, now there's a sci-fi novel, there's going to be this feeling of like shaking your fist at the universe because we've been through the mill a little bit already. We've been through the mill with the astrology stuff. So it does feel like, or either I can't really take anymore, or fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, with no real in between. But actually it's this idea that all of this is just a cycle. This is all just something that happens, you know? In the words of my mother, it just is, like, soz. She wouldn't say soz. But, you know. There's this, yeah, this feeling of like, sorry, not sorry. That's just how we're going to roll it. In a way, I wonder if that can be moved into something quite comforting. One, cycles end or begin again. You know, there is this idea that things pass. But also, as in, sorry, it's not permanent. It's not a permanent state of being. But also the idea that we're all in this together is quite nice. I don't know, maybe that's just me. But I think it's quite nice if you can to, yes, monitor yourself, but then go, that pal of mine over there is clearly dealing with the same stuff in a different form. It won't all be that you don't like being called pretty. You know, it's going to be their own trigger, but you'll be watching them play out, and it kind of feels like when everyone has an exam at the same time. Does that make sense? That kind of nervous excitement thing where you build each other up. And sometimes, as I say, it can become a stampede and it's a shit show. But sometimes it's quite nice to go, oh, actually, we're all a bit tense and we're all a bit this, that and the other. And maybe I can be a bit more gentle with myself about that, you know. Anyway, I rambled there. Going to get a lot of that. Monthly readings, I'm in the middle of them and it's rambling. It's good if you don't listen, but as in if you're not already a listener, it's good. It's worth your time. Sorry, everyone. Okay. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Interesting. Six of Swords. So yes, I was right. The words of other people. Be aware that people might be channeling information to you that they don't know they are. So things like, you'd be so good at X, Y, Z, and it's something you've been thinking about for a long time. It might be brand new to you. You might be like, I didn't realise I was quite a good teacher. But everybody's saying to me, while I'm changing my career, have you thought about teaching? You know, like things like that. It's often being guided by the words of your friends. But I will say it's a transition card. It's very peaceful. It's very quiet. You know, I always equate it in my mind with this idea of Avalon, that you're heading away or to a place, away from or to a place of healing that's quite secret. It feels very, yes, it's a place of calm while you move forward. And if you're going to take anything with you at the end of the week, that's the kind of card that I would keep around you. If you have an altar, get some Six of Swords energy, because it enables you to move from the choppy water, into calmer waters. And with water being emotion, it's a nice transition at the moment. We could do with some calmer water. But one, it's got the support of the people around you. Two, it's guided by good intention. It's very little sort of sass or meanness or all this stuff. It's much more like, come on in, you've clearly had a shit time. Even though it's a swords card, you know. It's I would say it's also the card equivalent of knowing that you're in debt and that things are really shit, but finding a way to splash out on some sort of food that you really like and movies with a friend, like on a sofa, where you're like, ah, fuck it. Do you know, I know I can't afford my phone bill, but actually I just need this moment of stillness and then I can bounce back, right? The other thing that caught my eye, again, we've got lots of stuff coming through, try being me at the moment. The stick seems important. Discuss. I think it's the push, and I think it's you pushing. Rather than letting everybody just guide you and you go, well, that's nice. I wish I could be the amazing teacher they say I am, or a supermodel. You know, you go, ah, that is a good idea, and then push yourself with your little like Italian hat on. So, theme of the week. Way, 2 themes of the week. All right. It's the Devil and the Empress. Ooh. I feel like we could go either way, is actually the message of this, as in it's kind of a choose your own adventure. Either you are battling hard with old patterns, old habits, things that die hard with a vengeance for the week, and being triggered to balls by everything, and struggling with the idea of addiction, with being addicted to old patterns, addicted to old things. It could even be like booze or something like difficult to, well, they're all difficult, but you know, something physical that's difficult to overcome. But really, when you read those cards I've just read with this in mind, it has this real like, this is the final push with my big stick. This is the final time that I'm going to come to this point and have the opportunity to look at it in this much detail. And I encourage you to, because it's worth it. And I feel like it's going to be better at the end of it. You can't exist in this state. The combination of these, you can't exist in this state for a really long time and get away with it. It's not sustainable. Like usually something will happen, you know? So either allowing something to happen, which feels really passive and really almost you would have to give up and allow this to sort of rule for a while, or or we take these steps to push forward through the drama to look at all the shit going on. However, if you are feeling more Empress this week, then we are, fair enough, mother issues, but hilarious, right? I'm there going, trigger, 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 and it's all about, you know. But the Empress is also finding that connection to the world at large. Finding connection to nature, and therefore connecting you to the planet rather than the world and the people on it. That's what I'm saying. So when I said to you earlier, this idea that we're all in this together, obviously I'm coming at that from the perspective of someone living in the Western world in an extremely privileged position, right? But when, even on a small scale, when you look at sort of the people around you and you're watching these patterns play out, when I talk about that comfort, that's exactly what that card is describing. The comfort of, I guess we're all in this at once. I guess I can show some more empathy, show some more sympathy towards these people than I'm showing, but I need to keep that bit for myself and nurture myself. The boundaries that come with the Empress, they don't often talk about boundaries in this card, but that is a Taurus, and it is someone that can go, I will not have pineapple on pizza, you know, on a small scale. But you know what I mean? Like there is always a boom. There's a wall that they won't cross. And I think that's also important to remember. It's sort of, the Empress versus the Devil theme is really, it's not foxed me, but it's really changed. It shifted the reading into a different place. So it feels more like working on home, working on grounding and your base is going to be really important for some of you this week. But with it in mind that the rest of the reading still applies. Sort of attitudinal. It's sort of the two different types of people that need to hear this information. One of them is go the fuck outside, touch a tree, sit down, understand that you are part of this universe. I also get the impression that some of you, this is so weird, but it popped into my head. Some of you have been considering going into really considering doing a plant-based diet. If you are finding that there are triggers around that, look at the attitudes to food. That's probably for somebody or a couple of specific people. Sorry, I don't normally do that, but it was like, boom. Look at that. Because I think you're possibly making the right decision, but you'll need to work through why that's such an issue for you, because it's not the reasons of everybody else. Anyway, get out my reading, you. The devil people, the people that have the devil there, I feel like come to this place a lot more frequently than the people that have the Empress there. We'll put it that way. They're a lot more used to living with these cycles, living with raking through all the old shit, feeling like you're stuck in that place. You don't have to be stuck in that. It's not your identity to be permanently wading around in the dark. It's just telling you that now's a really good time to get out of the fucking habit. Anyway, thanks for sticking around if you did. That was a 16-minute one today. Good grief. Cool. Hope you're hanging in there. Let me know in the comments underneath if this was just all about you. And if you're the person trying to turn vegan, please, because I'd like to know. The monthly Patreon readings are coming up today. Meditations. I'm so sorry. I literally cannot get a silent moment. I was in the countryside. I might even give a clip of the audio that was available in the countryside. I thought it would be birdsong. Turns out, no. So I am working on it. I'm trying to find a time that's actually silent to record them, because no one wants to hear my neighbours screaming about their terrible relationships while we're trying to have a meditative space, right? So, working on that. 19th of June, put it in the diary. If you want to see me in person for longer readings, 19th of June, I'm at Leithport Police Box with Nymeria Bloom doing sexy things, sexy solstice stuff. I'm back in on Fridays at Black Moon Botanica doing in-person readings, 10 for 10 minutes. I am still doing online readings if you are far away or you don't want to see me or all this stuff, or you can't do the 19th. I'm still available for all the usual gubbins on there. Book me via the website for those ones, but if you want an in-person one, you'll still have to message me because it's too confusing to do all the, Podcast, go and have a listen. Haunted Picture Palace is my podcast with Ben about scary films. We had a week off. We didn't tell anyone. So we're back. And we're doing Sleepy Hollow this time. Ruby Wednesday and I do a podcast called Tarot is Fucking Cool, where we talk about all things tarot and our lives. And there's a lot of swearing. It's a very mercurial podcast, so enjoy. And last but not least, let's try and keep this under 20 fucking minutes, shall we? I have been painting little cute things under the name Bespook Designs. I can't even say it yet. Many people have bought them. Thank you so much for that. That was a real surprise to me. Probably not to you. You liked it and you bought it. But people have bought them. Head over to my Instagram page for those if you want to have a look at the ones I've got left. I'm making more all the time. And if there's a pet that you have or something that you want painted that I haven't done and you'd like to see glow in the dark in a creepy way, give me a shout on the DMs. Goodbye.